If you haven't met me before or you're not really familiar with me, my name's Rebecca Allen. I am a cake business trainer. So you can call me a consultant or a mentor or a coach. I don't really care what you call me. Essentially, I help people grow their sweet business. So whether you've got a cake business or a food business, whether it's selling cookies or cake pops or high tea service, etc., or you're a baker, essentially, I talk about sales and marketing and business advice to grow your business. That's what I talk about. That's what my jam is. I do that through training modules, blog posts, articles, and some of my packages and programs being more training, essentially, on what I have on how to grow a cake business. Now, if anyone doesn't know my backstory, I am a qualified baker and pastry cook. I worked in a bakery for 10 or 11 years, and this is in Australia, and I started a cake business, a home cake business, in 2010. So that's Angel Foods, my baby. I shouldn't call it that. It should be a separate identity, but anyway, we get very attached to our business. So from starting a business 2010, I started selling wholesale at the markets, taking cake orders, and I got very busy very quickly that I actually franchised the home cake business model. And I sold the first franchise 9 months into business. 2 years later, I'd sold something like 12 franchises in Australia nationally. From there, I'd also written ebooks and e-courses, Amazon books. I launched a couple of websites and essentially kept growing my business. I now no longer sell cakes, so it is 6 years later. I now no longer sell franchises either. I now specialize with online blogging, sales, and marketing. How long should a blog take? A blog does not need to be very long. It doesn't need to be an epic assignment or work piece or thousands of words long. It can literally be less than 100 words. Yeah, I've said that right. It can be less than 100 words. I've got some of my blog posts that are less than 100 no, they're not less than 100 characters, about 160 characters, which is like 50 words, okay? How long should a blog take you to do? They're actually really, really easy. So previously I've covered what should you blog about, and that's actually a major topic as well. What should you blog about? And that training is actually in Cake Business School, so I'll tell you more about that later. But when we talked about what to blog about, you're actually already creating what you should be blogging about, which is your content, being what do you sell. If you sell a product, for the most part, I'm gonna guess people here are selling cakes, because most cake decorators are following me essentially, or people starting cake business, therefore are aiming to be a cake decorator. You're already creating a blog post, but you don't even know it. And what I mean by that is, if you're taking a photo of a cake, pretty sure you are, if you're sharing that photo anywhere, being on Facebook or Pinterest or LinkedIn, or even just adding that photo to the website, you're already just about creating a blog post, because a blog post is essentially sharing what you're creating or sharing what you sell. Okay, so if you're creating a photo and it's your latest wedding cake and you're posting on Facebook with, let's say, 50 words saying, hey, created this 3-tiered wedding cake, delivered it here last weekend, this was what the bride had to say about it, for example, as a testimonial. It doesn't even have to have that much information. That is essentially a blog post, because then you add a new blog. So you go to the back end of your website, you click add new blog, add new post, you give it a title being wedding cake, for example. You copy the words you've just written on Facebook and paste it, add an image or 2 or 10, however many you want, and hit publish. That is a blog post. So every single cake you're creating is essentially a blog post. Okay, do you see how easy I don't know if I can say how easy it is, but it can be literally a no-brainer and virtually no time. So I'm going to say that a blog post should only take you about 20 minutes from beginning to end. Add new words, paste, add images in. You might have to edit them, the size of the images down a little bit, being that they're not quite as big. I suggest about 600 pixels by 600 pixels, which can be done in picmonkey.com, PICMONKEY.com. I've shared the training on how to check your photo sizes before and resize them. That training again is in Cake Business School. So you are putting in a title to the post. You are pasting in, one paragraph or 2 sentences, or it can be just 1 sentence if you want, of a description about that cake. You're posting in 1 image minimum. You can obviously add more, and you hit publish. You can then go share that blog post on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook groups, to your email. If you've got an email list or of email subscribers, you can share that same blog post. Do you see how you're multi-purposing the same content and it takes you 20 minutes? So this is what's really exciting about blog posts for me. You're already creating it. It should only take you about 20 minutes a week, and that's maximum, and that includes sharing in 9 different ways. It's a no-brainer for me. So how long should a blog take? It should take you about 20 minutes. That's literally how long they take me, and that's we're sharing on all over social media. Obviously, a blog post that's a little bit longer, if you add a little bit of a backstory, for example, this client I've dealt with for 3 years. First it was their engagement cake, then it was their wedding cake, and now it's a christening cake. She's a dream to deal with. This was her feedback. I give free quotes today, and you might have the three images of the cakes that you're going to share. You might have professionally photographs from the wedding that you want to add. You might want to add like 20 images. Yes, that will take a little bit longer. I'd suggest maybe about 40 minutes. Some of my blog posts have taken a considerable amount of time. My average is about an hour for a blog post, but that's very much information based. That is since becoming Cake Business Trainer, so that I share a lot of information, being recipes and how-to articles and video tutorials, etc. But most of them take an hour from beginning to end, writing from an empty Word document. Okay, I didn't have any content created. So only takes 20 minutes to publish a post. And you can put that time aside, whether weekly or fortnightly. We have touched on how consistently or how frequently you should be blogging, and ultimately, well, number one, it should be consistent. Don't do it, say 5 times in 1 week and then don't do it again for another 6 months. Okay, you want it to be consistent. So whatever time frame you decide on, just stick to it like glue. It just has to be done. So whether it's once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, whatever you decide, consistent. I will say, and I will suggest and recommend, once a week minimum. Like, you're creating it already, right? It's 20 minutes maximum of your time to copy and paste from Facebook. It's just opening another tab on your computer and hit, paste 5 times, right? Maybe open in PicMonkey, spend 2 or 3 minutes photo editing, hit publish, share on social media. Okay? All right. We've had more people join. Sam's here. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so that is how long should it take to blog. Now, the next question is, how long should a blog be? And this one, the analogy I'm going to use is, how long is a piece of string? Or it's exactly the same or very, very similar to the question, how much should a cake cost? And we as cake decorators, when we hear that question, right? Because the answer is, it depends on these details. Exactly the same with a blog post. It can be, like I said, 50 characters, you'd want to be a little bit more than that. 100 characters, which is like 50 words. No, I've got that completely wrong. Let me start again. It can be a really, really short article with just like a paragraph of words, 2 sentences, or it can be 3,000 words and anything in between. There's no right or wrong answer with the length of a blog post. I've done a lot of research on SEO, being search engine optimization and Google ranking. There are some people that believe a 2,000 word article will get better ranking, just around the 2,000 word article. Now that is actually, to me, that is actually a particular blogging strategy, and it's called like an epic or ultimate blog post. An epic blog post, right? It's just jam-packed full of really big information, and that type of business that puts out 2,000 word epic blog posts, that is actually their marketing strategy, because they're information-based business that is selling like courses and books. They sell information, right? So for cake decorators, I don't believe it should be that long. And not only that, I've gotten results from very short blog posts, like maybe 300, 400 words. I get really good ranking on Google ranking on. So I had a thought and I've lost it. So the length of your blog is the length of a piece of string. It doesn't, it depends, right? But it doesn't overly matter. When you're, doing a balancing act of should I blog or shouldn't I blog, the answer should always be yes, I blog. Don't worry about the length. Just do something. Publish something consistently, because that will get results. Because if you're not doing a blog, I guarantee you that will not get results. And if you want results being website hits per month, growing your business, growing your email list, getting more cake orders and inquiries from your website, a blog is the answer. Okay? And it always will be. All right, so blogging. I've been banging on about blogging for a long time, but in the last couple of months in particular, I've been doing a lot of training and blog articles and content and information about building a blog, right? Because if you, whatever you have, let me start again. If you have a business, whether you sell products or services, you should have a blog. Full stop. It is how you find more customers, you make more sales. It is its own income stream in its own right. Blog is its own income stream in its own right. And it's how you grow, get up in Google ranking, being SEO or search engine optimization. And the only way to get up in Google ranking is by blogging. So that's why I bang on about blogging. And as I mentioned earlier, I said I've been through several websites, 4 websites I've built since 2010. And I actually got it wrong for a couple of websites. It wasn't until my 3rd Angel Foods website that I realized how important blogging was, that it was a major mistake that I wasn't blogging. I wasn't blogging frequently enough or consistently enough. I hadn't nailed in my blogging strategy, and that was a major mistake. That's what's kept me growing at snail's pace, essentially, when I could have been growing a lot faster, because it got me a lot more sales, as in cake orders, and got me more sales online by blogging. So that's why I bang on about blogging. This blogging training is part of Blogging for Bakers training package, where I share 15 free tips from setup, templates, topics, how-tos covered, questions answered, but all skill levels. So whether you're starting out or you're an experienced blogger for 10 years but wanting to up your game, right? So the results I've got from blogging, I only nailed in my blogging strategy in the middle of 2014. I want to say June. It was June or July. I can't remember. June 2014. So less than 2 years later, not, let's say, a hair's breadth less of 2 years later, I now get 50,000 website hits per month. I have organic Google ranking #1 for over 200 sets of keywords, organic Google ranking number 2 for about 300 or 400 sets of keywords, organic Google ranking number 3 for about 300 sets of keywords, and the list goes on. All right, so blogging gets results. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't take uber long either. It actually took me 8 months of consistent blogging to get Google ranking number 2. I think it was 9 or 10 months to get that number 1 spot. Okay, so blogging gets results. So that's why I bang on about it. That's how, when I say 50,000 website hits per month, that is, let me bring up my analytics just while I'm talking to you. ANALY. Because I always get confused between page views and sessions, so I want to get it correct. I have 50,000 page views for the last month, for the last 30 days. That is number of sessions, 15, just under 15,000, 14,904 sessions for the last month, 10,700 users. Okay, so that's why I say blogging gets results. All right, so let me go back to the beginning. All right, so for this blogging training and the 15 free blogging tips, in there I've already talked about how to start a blog, why you should blog, what platform or surface should you use for blogging, whether it's Weebly, Wix, or WordPress. I've already talked about how to add a blog post to your website. I've talked about how to embed a video. I've got in there as well how to embed a video. I've got how to add a photo to your video. Add a photo to your blog. I'm tripping over myself. My apologies. I think I've got already a little bit of SEO in there, being Google ranking, and there'll be more training actually coming on SEO and Google ranking, because in the last month my website hits have actually tripled overnight. So because I've implemented in the last couple of months an SEO strategy. So I'm going to share that with you in my Blogging for Bakers training. But if you haven't signed up for the Blogging for Bakers training, I'll pop the link here for you. Let me hit refresh. Hopefully I'm actually in the group this time doing a video. I went to come draw and pop a link last time. Oh, we are. Yay! Here we go. All right, so if you haven't signed up for the blogging training and you want to know all the above, how to start a blog, what platform to use, why you should blog, how to embed a video, how to embed a photo, etc., go sign up for the Blogging for Bakers training. So that's completely free. This is one of the training modules that will be sent out to those people with a bit of video editing at the same time. All right, so tonight what we're going to talk about is how long should a blog be and how long should a blog take. That's actually 2 subjects, but I'm just covering them in one session. So how long, right? All right, you guys ready to get started? Because you're being a little bit quiet. So I'm going to try and get a bit of crowd interaction here. So if you want to comment below, just say hi if you want to. That will be awesome. You can say hi, you can say where you're listening from and whether you have a blog yet or not. And then we'll get started. Little crowd participation. It's a little bit hard when it's not two ways. It's just me talking to myself. Well, I'm not talking to myself. I know there's people there, but I like to get people involved. Oh, people trying to request to come into the group. I'll approve those requests at the same time. Oh, hi, Coral. Fantastic. Thanks, Coral. So how many hours would you need each week to commit to the blog? Beautiful. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Fantastic. Oh, my piece of paper and pen. I'm a bit of a... I've always got to, I don't know, be writing stuff down as I'm thinking and talking and learning, etc. So I might do that at the same time. So I'll apologise for it at the same time. And Debbie, I'm in Melbourne, no bloggers yet. Beautiful. All right. So, all right, we'll answer your question first, Coral. So how many hours would you need each week to commit to a blog? So that comes under